Action. Hey, Sahil, how are we doing?
Hi. Hi, Sydney.
How are we feeling?
I just feel like,
34
get this
weeks.
baby.
Wow, we're almost
Yeah, get
there.
this baby out of me. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. I have a couple things I'd like to discuss today, but before I start, do you have any questions?
No, please go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me.
So, first thing I'd like to discuss today is something you might have heard of. It's called the GBS swab or vaginal rectal swab. So this is stands for Group B streptococcus. So it's a bacteria that lives in our gastrointestinal, so our gut, and can live in our vaginal microbiome. So with this, midwives like to just give some information regarding it because in pregnancy, about 19% of people in Ontario have screened positive for this. So, with this vaginal colonization of this GBS bacteria, it can just be dormant. So, meaning it's not always giving you symptoms of anything. So, 2 to 10% of pregnant people can be positive and not have any symptoms. So, this is why we recommend doing this swab around 36 weeks when you're pretty close to delivery to see if there is going to be potentially any exposure of this GBS bacteria to baby. Because if we do not know like your GBS status and baby's delivered and you had a GBS positive, there's just some critical outcomes that passing this bacteria to baby could lead to. One of those things is called early onset GBS disease. Which can lead to pneumonia, some respiratory issues in baby, meningitis potentially, even low birth weight as well. So, these are just all things we would want to monitor for sure. So, this is just kind of some of the history and like why we recommend it in pregnancy, just because of that high result of potentially passing that disease to baby. And we want to monitor and prevent all these risks early if we can. I know that's a lot of information about
Yeah.
this colonization and bacteria and stuff, but is there any concerns you have?
Not a concern, but still, that if I have it, it's okay. But if I pass it to my baby, that's not what we want, right?
Exactly,
And
exactly.
then, okay, I do the swipe, and then we get to know.
Yes, yes. So we would
Okay.
perform that vaginal rectal
Okay.
swab, which I can explain a little bit more about. So it's a little swab that you would just kind of
Mm-hmm.
swirl around in your vagina and then just gently drag along your perineum. And this way, we
Uh-huh.
just gather some cells from your vagina to see if that bacteria is present. But we'll do that at your next visit at 36 weeks. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good. Yes, yes, please.
Okay,
Yes, that sounds
perfect.
good. Thank you.
So, yeah, with that, we'll just do that at your next visit, but I'm glad we could discuss that today to make a really good informed decision
Yes.
about testing to prevent all those risks for you.
Appreciate that, Sydney. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
we'll see you at our next visit.
See you.
Okay. All right. Hi, Sahil. Welcome back. 38
Hi,
weeks.
Sydney. I know.
I know, we're getting so close.
So
Oh,
close. So
do you have
close.
any questions before I start today?
Yeah, so Sydney, you remember that thingy that we did? Swipe and
Yeah,
then just give it
yes.
to you? What happened with that one?
Good question. So that's what I was going to review with you today.
Oh
So,
yeah, okay.
yeah. So are you okay? I start with that?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So, with your GBS swab, you did have a positive result, but I don't want this to worry you. Okay.
Oh.
I know, I know. I don't want you to worry though, okay? So, what I'm gonna give you a little spiel about is just what we can do about this, okay? So, there's lots of information, guidelines, and really good research about GBS positive in pregnancy and how we can protect baby. So, I don't want you to be concerned because I'm just gonna give you some of those recommendations and guidelines and some of the details of how we've been really successful in reducing that rate, okay? Okay.
Okay.
So, with that, basically, what I wanted to recommend was that we give you some antibiotics before baby's delivered. So, kind of while you're leading up to delivery, but not quite before or as baby's being born. We want to give you an adequate amount of antibiotics before baby just to reduce that transmission. So, we've had a lot of research by the SOGC and the AOM, so that's the Association of Midwives, and the Society of Gynecological Care in Canada, and they provided us guidelines that we do this 35 to 37-week swab. We see if there's a positive result, and if there is, we recommend antibiotics. So these antibiotics have proven to 80% reduce the rate of transmission to baby. So, as long
Okay.
as we do that antibiotics in an adequate amount of time, we can prevent this transmission quite well. So, to reduce a lot of those risks and those concerns that you have. So, I
Sure.
hope that reassures you a little bit. Do
Yeah,
you
it
have any
does.
questions?
80%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Do you have
good.
any questions about it before I go into kind of how that labor picture would work?
No, no, please go ahead. Tell me. Tell me
Okay.
what's gonna happen then.
Okay. So if you're okay with the antibiotics, the way that would work is that kind of when labor's picking up, this is just kind of considering if your water didn't break. So if you were getting those contractions, getting that pattern, kind of when I would ask you to page, like we've discussed, when active labor we believe is starting, we want you to just kind of give us a page to let us know because we want to try to start your antibiotics 4 hours before you deliver. So our
Mhm.
first line is usually penicillin. That is like our main antibiotic to prevent this transmission. It just has a really good active rate of reducing this GBS, this group strep B coccus bacteria. So that's kind of the first line. It is very safe in pregnancy. So I just want you to know that is very safe as long as you don't have an allergy, but I don't believe you do, if I'm correct.
I don't. No, no, that was my other thing. So I know I don't have
Mhm.
any allergies, no, none of those. But like, is this the best way to go at it? Is there any alternatives to
Yeah, so there is some other alternative antibiotics, but unfortunately,
it?
this is probably our best recommendation with the most research on it to prevent this transmission.
Okay. Okay.
Especially at 36 weeks, we still do have a couple more weeks before you are due and potentially going into labor. So it just gives us that adequate amount of time to kind of adjust. But we do have other antibiotics that we can use to treat this as well. We just have to keep in consideration that that first line is the best in preventing it because it has just a shorter amount of time where we have to actually administer it, which would be via IV in the hospital. And then we would just try to do that so that we have about 4 hours before baby's
Mhm.
actually delivered. The other consideration I want you to take into account is if your water does break, I would want you to page me right away. I
Mhm.
don't want you to be concerned that baby's gonna be, more at a high risk or anything. It's just if your water breaks, we don't want to go a prolonged period of time before baby is delivered, just because it could increase the risk of that being transmitted to the amniotic fluid and baby potentially inhaling it too. So that's just kind of the considerations around your GBS positive result that we just might have to kind of adjust a little bit of the care. But I want you to know we're
Yeah.
going to support you with any of your choices and that we're going to do everything in our care plan to prevent this transmission to baby, okay?
Alright. So the chances of my baby not having it is very, very high as long as I paid you, if I inform you of anything that has been happening, right?
Yes. Yeah, you got
Okay.
it. And even if we are concerned, another thing I want to let you know is we are going to monitor baby as well. So, with all of this, we're still going to monitor
Mhm.
baby for all of those signs within the first 24 hours. And if we have any concerns, we'll let you know right away. But this gives us a really good kind of idea of what to prepare for. So, we can have those teams ready and a good care plan just to make sure that we can, protect you and baby and have a really good birth together.
I love that. Yeah, because this has been really stressful. So,
Mhm.
but basically, if even though my screen is positive right now, doesn't mean my baby's gonna have it. That's what all I need to know. So,
Exactly,
okay,
exactly. Yeah.
okay,
I
okay. Sounds good, Sydney. Thank you
All
so much
right,
for all this
no
information.
worries. All right, we'll see you soon. We're gonna have this baby
I'll
soon.
see you.
Okay,
Yes.
bye,
Thank you.
Sahil.
Bye.